After all, there's only one more sleep till Christmas Day. Hello everyone, you are very welcome back to another video. My name is Amy, I'm a musician, I play guitar and I sing, and I make videos that consist mostly of cover songs, guitar content, vlogs, and I also just really enjoy talking about music and music related things. So in today's video, since it's Christmas, I am going to be talking about probably my favorite Christmas movie of all time, The Muppet Christmas Carol. I am making this video mostly so that I can just talk about this movie because I love it so much, so any excuse to just chat about it, but all the while delving into the missing song or the secret song that was removed from the movie that I only found out about a couple of years ago. Some of you may already be aware of this fact, but for anyone who doesn't, I'm going to be telling you all about it in this video, and if you are already aware, we're just going to be enjoying some fan moments of the movie as well. So if you love The Muppet Christmas Carol, I think you'll enjoy this video. So sit back, relax, and let's go. Now, to say that this is my favorite Christmas movie, I know that that's a big statement. To single something out, forsaking all others, and put it on the top of a list, that's a pretty big deal. But on the other hand, it's also really difficult to say because there are so many other great ones, so many others that I adore, and I would definitely say that they tie for first place as well on this list, such as Home Alone 1 and 2, The Santa Claus, The Holiday, Elf, all the other classics. We all love them. But the reason why I have a special place in my heart for The Muppet Christmas Carol is because this is the only one out of all of the favorite Christmas movies that I designate a specific day to watch. All the other films I watch or we watch whenever we feel like it, whatever the evening is calling for, whenever we have time, or something that everyone can agree on. That's the movie that goes on that night for the Christmas period. But for me, I always watch The Muppet Christmas Carol, especially on Christmas Eve. This was a little solo tradition that I started at some point in my mid-teens. I don't remember when exactly or even why, but it was just something that I started to do. And this wasn't even really a tradition growing up. When I was a little kid, we would always watch Home Alone on Christmas Eve right before bed. So I don't know when the Muppet Christmas Carol kind of took over for me. So I can't really recall when or why I started doing this. No matter where I am on Christmas Eve, I will carve out a special 90 minutes to fully embrace and enjoy the Muppet Christmas Carol, with no distractions from phones or social media. Usually some kind of tea or hot chocolate is involved, definitely a blanket. And whoever is around me on Christmas Eve is welcome to join me. Of course, you don't have to. I don't force everybody into this. But if you're not going to join, that's absolutely completely fine. But I am to be disturbed minimally in this 90-minute period. So why is The Muppet Christmas Carol my favourite? Well, there's lots of reasons. The biggest reason, I would say, is the nostalgia factor. I also just really enjoy the Muppets' adaptation of the story. I really enjoy the music and the songs. There goes Mr. Outrage. There goes Mr. Me. If they gave a prize for being mean, the winner would be him. Not him, he's cute. It always makes me smile and laugh, even after years of watching it. I've never grown tired of it. Also, it's just very Christmassy. So The Muppet Christmas Carol was released 31 years ago, and the reason why I know this without looking it up is because it's the same age as me. December 11th, 1992, the world was graced with the theatrical release of The Muppet Christmas Carol. Directed by the son of Muppets creator Jim Henson, this was Brian Henson's first time directing a feature film following the death of his dad in 1990. This was the first Muppets movie to be produced after the death of Jim Henson, and it was also the first Muppets movie to be produced by Walt Disney Pictures. As we all know, it is the Muppets telling of the classic Charles Dickens tale, A Christmas Carol, starring Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge, Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit. Side note, when I was a kid, I thought the character's name was Bob Cratchit. I was doing my piano lessons at the time and I thought they were saying crotchet.
Bob Cratchit?
Yes, Mr. Scrooge?
Who is this?
Miss Piggy as Emily Cratchit, Robin the Frog as Tiny Tim, Statler and Waldorf as Jacob and Robert Marley, Fozzie Bear as Fozziewig, and Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat narrating the story, with Gonzo claiming to be Charles Dickens and Rizzo as himself. In recent years, the missing song titled When Love Is Gone became a topic of conversation among fans when Brian Henson did an interview in 2020, and he said that the song was cut at the request of Jeffrey Katzenberg, the chairman of Walt Disney Studios, because children in test audiences were fidgety. Katzenberg never forced me to do anything, but he said, "Do you see how antsy those kids are getting? It's just a little too adult emotional for the kids to stay connected. The movie certainly plays well without the song, but I obviously preferred having the song in. I think it's good for kids to be pulled into deeply emotional moments, even if they feel slightly awkward about it when they're in a movie theatre." So the song was cut from the original theatrical release in 1992, but it did appear in the VHS version that was released afterwards. So if you are someone who owned a VHS copy of the film, then you will probably remember the song. It was missing from the much later DVD and Blu-ray releases, which lines up with me because I owned The Muppet Christmas Carol on DVD that I do not remember when I purchased, but that was the copy that I watched every year. We never owned a video copy of The Muppet Christmas Carol, so that makes perfect sense as to why I never knew the song existed. Not to mention, the actress who played Belle, Meredith Braun, I could imagine her being pretty pissed off. Imagine you get a part in a Muppet/Disney movie and you get to sing an entire song yourself, only to find out that when it's coming out in cinema, your song has been completely removed from the story. But to quote an interview she did with Variety in December 2022, "At first, Braun was unfazed by her track being cut. The song wasn't in the cinema release, but it was still on VHS. I remember Brian was really gutted about it. He was very sweet, but I was like, well, it still exists. What's the problem? The cinema thing will come and go, and it will stay on the tape. I know it was because of slowing things down for 5-year-olds, which I get, because it is pretty sad. It's really, really sad. I heard since that it was the same man who wanted to cut Part of Your World, which I didn't realize until recently." Yeah, because that would have been a really great idea, Jeffrey. Let's just start removing beautiful songs from movies because we're worried about pacing and exposing children to a little bit too much emotion. In case you can't tell, I'm not a fan of the song being cut now that I know it exists. Now, I understand it's easy for me to have this perspective. I have the power of hindsight, and I am looking objectively at all the details 30 years later. So I have that kind of advantage to look back on something and go, yeah, I think that was a dumb idea. Now, I also want you to keep in mind, I said this in my last video, but I am not a film expert or a film critic in any way, shape, or form. I am just an audience member that has an opinion on her favorite Christmas movie. However, the reasons to keep the song far outweigh the reasons to cut the song, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you why. This is just my personal opinion and how I feel about the whole thing. Brian Henson did say in his interview that the movie plays well without the song. And yes, to be fair, it does. I have enjoyed it all these years without the song and still loved the film, but he would have still preferred it to be left in, and I agree with this. Not only because it's a beautiful song with beautiful lyrics, but I think it actually removes vital context from the story. Before I realized that a song was cut, I always did wonder why Rizzo is sobbing so much in this scene right after Scrooge says, "I love you, Belle," and she says, "You did once." And it immediately cuts to right after the song, and Rizzo is sobbing.
"I love you, Belle."
You did once.
Oh, Rizzo.
He really is crying, and I figured he's sad, and it is very sad. But is it sad enough for someone outside the relationship ending to be crying like that.
I just don't see why those two can't work things out.
Now, yes, it is extremely sad because this scene is essentially their breakup. This is pretty much what causes Scrooge to become and remain a cold and bitter person who never opens himself up to love another human being again, and that is extremely sad. But with the context of the missing song, it makes so much more sense why Rizzo is crying so much. A line that really gets me in the first verse is, "There's distance in your eyes tonight, so we're not meant to be."
There's distance in your eyes tonight, so we're not meant to be. The love is gone. The love is gone.
That is gut-wrenching because a lot of us have been there. When I first heard this song 2 Christmases ago, I welled up when I first heard it and watched it, and even preparing for this video I rewatched it and it got me again. It just adds a whole new level of emotion to the whole thing, and it makes sense as to why the older and current Scrooge is so emotional in this scene too. Through the song, we the audience are learning that the reason their relationship broke down is because Scrooge has gone too far deep into his work and caring about money, and he is putting that before her and their relationship. So their love has gone. He is not the person she once knew, and she is no longer being treated the way she deserves to be treated, so she walks away. Now, we can already gather this from the dialogue in this scene, but the song gives it to us from her perspective, which makes it all the more heartbreaking since she is the one who is choosing to walk away, but she's also the one who's being hurt. We are watching this relationship crumble before our very eyes. And with this in mind, the song actually helps us stay in Scrooge's corner. It gives so much more depth to his character.
Yes, some dreams come true, and yes, some dreams fall through. And yes, the time has come for us to say goodbye. Yes, some dreams come true, and yes, some dreams fall through. And yes, the time has come for us to say goodbye.
We're seeing the pain in his eyes and the immense regret as he looks back on this moment in his life when he really hurt somebody he loved and made himself miserable ever since. A moment that he wished he could go back and change. Because let's not forget, okay? Ebenezer Scrooge is a man who gets joy from evicting people from their homes, refuses to give a penny to charity, says that poor people deserve to be poor, and if they're gonna die then they better do it because there's too many people in the world anyway, forces his employees to work in freezing conditions and expects them to work over holidays, and accuses them of robbing him when they ask for 1 day off. Not to mention he's just downright rude to everyone. We should all hate Scrooge, not be rooting for his redemption, and just write him off as a lost cause. If Ebenezer Scrooge had a social media platform in 2023, he would be cancelled for the things he stands for. But the song helps plead his case to us. We still want him to win in the end. In this scene, we see a man who is full of regret and also capable of change, and he wants to for the better. And not because he's going to die if he doesn't. At this point in the story, he's already seen enough that makes him want to change before he's even seen his own gravestone. Tiny Tim is just that final nail in the coffin. The decision to remove the song actually cuts Scrooge's major turning point in the story, entirely my opinion. And why? Because it was too boring or too sad for kids? Too sad? Really? This was Disney in the early 90s. You know what was sad? When Mufasa died. That's what was sad. As an adult, looking back, I was way more traumatized by the death of Mufasa than any sad song I've ever heard in my life. To this day, I don't watch The Lion King because of what that scene did to me. It's burned in my brain when little Simba is screaming no and the camera zooms out of his face really quickly. It's animated, but you know what I mean.
Long live the king.
I just can't. Like, Disney, I love you, but why did you put us through that? Sure, a kid might not understand the nuances of a love lost or a relationship breakdown, but a lot of kids can relate to the death of a parent. It just does not make sense to me. When I was a kid, I was very sensitive to music. Nothing has changed, by the way. In fact, my mum has 2 amazing photos of me watching Snow White back in the early 90s, the good old days. Yes, that's me crying at Snow White singing Someday My Prince Will Come, and I turned out okay for the most part. I watched Snow White hundreds of times at that age. It was my kid obsession where I watched Snow White every day for probably like 2 years. You can ask my mom. Should I have been protected from those tears? No, I can understand someone coming from a place of wanting to protect children, but I don't think that children need to be protected from their own feelings. When human beings, regardless of their age, are moved by a piece of music or a piece of media, that is an amazing thing, and those emotions need to be acknowledged. As a child, I was moved by the music. Again, nothing's changed. I was empathizing with the character of Snow White, and I really wanted that happy ending for her, and I'd like to think that maybe subconsciously I learned some valuable life skills. Maybe. And if it's not for the reason of a kid being sad and instead it's kind of going over their head and they're a bit bored, since Katzenberg is also worried about pacing with this decision, it's a 2 to 3 minute song. I actually think it's possible that they can sit through it and survive. So that's my main point, my main reason for not agreeing that the song was removed. But I have some other reasons too. So not only does it help us root for Scrooge, but it also allows us to respect the character of Belle. Considering the time period we're in A Christmas Carol, Belle was actually ahead of her time since she made the decision to walk away. Meredith Braun did actually make this point in her Variety interview. She said, "What I'm actually most proud of, and I don't think I realized this at 19, she's actually making a strong decision from a feminist perspective. I think Belle went on to be a suffragette and win the vote for women. I think she's making a strong decision even though it hurts to leave and do what's right." Another reason, the song does appear in the end credits sung by Martina McBride. This is something that Disney has done over the years and even does more recently, where they have a famous recording artist sing a version of the song from the movie to put in the end credits. And there are many examples of this, such as Elton John sings "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" at the end of Lion King, but that also makes sense because he wrote it. In the Beauty and the Beast end credits, Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson sing Beauty and the Beast. Alessia Cara sings "How Far I'll Go" at the end of Moana. Demi Lovato sings "Let It Go" at the end of Frozen. Those and many, many more examples. So Martina McBride is singing a song that was taken out of the movie. That makes sense then. Another reason, I have one more, another reason why it doesn't make sense to remove the song from the movie is that the final song in the movie, called "The Love We Found," is a direct counterpoint to "When Love Is Gone" and resolves the entire plot. In the acknowledgement of the contrast between the two songs is where the message of the story lies, I think. When a person is going to close themselves off to the world, become cold, bitter, be rude to everybody, nobody wants to be around a person like that. It makes them miserable, and the person who's doing that is making themselves miserable in the process too. But when you open yourself up to people and you're nice and you're kind and you're genuine and you're warm to be around, wonderful things can come your way, and you actually open yourself up to receiving love from other people. And this doesn't have to be romantic love. This can be friendship or just kindness in general, allowing yourself to be kind to other people and allowing people to be kind to you. That is a great message for children. And you might disagree with me. You might say, yeah, the film actually plays fine without the song. And I've already said it does. Brian Henson said that as well. So you might be like, Amy, you're making no sense. It's still fine without the song. That's fair. But I just think the song really drives that point home, and there was not any reason to cut it. I think if a story is gonna convey a certain message, then you really want that message to be powerful. And what's more powerful to change people's hearts then music. So I learned a lot about the Muppet Christmas Carol while putting this video together, and I will admit, I didn't know that the full extended version is actually now available to watch. The good news is, last year at D23 Expo, it was announced that in celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Muppet Christmas Carol, they would restore the song to the movie. So if you have a Disney Plus subscription, you have the option of watching it as it was originally released, which is how I've been watching it all these years, with no song included, a deleted scene of just the song itself, and then you have the option of watching the entire extended version with the song included. I didn't know this last year, so this is the first year that I will be enjoying the full extended version, and I am so excited. Note that the default version on Disney Plus does not include the song, so if you do want to watch the full version, you have to scroll down into the extras tab. I did actually double check this on my own subscription. I just wanted to make sure. And I also took notice of the fact that the original version compared to the extended version, the difference in the running time is 2 minutes. 2 whole minutes that those poor children couldn't sit through. So let's axe it. Whew, I did get kind of riled up while filming this video. I didn't quite expect that, but let's just calm down. For me, let's just calm down and get back into the Christmas spirit. So to do that, here are some of my favorite moments from the movie.
No cheeses for us, Mises.
Thank you for making me a part of this.
Yeah, all of our pens have turned to inksicles. Yeah, our assets are frozen.
How would the bookkeepers like to be suddenly
Unemployed!
Heat wave! This is my island in the sun.
When Slut looked out on the feet of Stephen.
Oh, the slowly roundabout, deep but crisp and even, brightly shone the moon that night.
It's the Penguins' Christmas skating party.
Look, my lads, dusk has fallen, and the lamplighters are at work. It's Christmas Eve for certain.
In this hurdy brewski.
Tis the season to be jolly and joyous. Fa la la, with a burst of pleasure we feel it arrive. Fa la la, it's a season when the saints can employ us. Fa la la, to spread the news about peace and to keep love alive.
Can we talk about Kermit's amazing bass line right there? Stellar. Also, while I was putting this video together, I found the most adorable clip of Michael Caine and Meredith Braun recording the song for the movie. Prepare yourselves for the most heartwarming thing you'll see.
And yes, some dreams fall through. And yes, the time has come for us to say goodbye.
beautiful?
Right?
I wish I could sing like that.
The way he looks at her when she hits that vibrato, I would have done the same thing, honestly. It was just so beautiful. The way she sang that, it just gave me goosebumps, and you can tell that that was his reaction too. So I hope you enjoyed this video, whether you are a Muppet Christmas Carol super fan like me or not. I still hope that you enjoyed watching this, and maybe it made you want to go watch the Muppet Christmas Carol this Christmas. So if you do, please enjoy it. I think you will. Whether you're young or old, it's a great Christmas movie for anyone, honestly. It's a great one for the family. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you smile, it'll make you cry, it'll make you sing along, it'll make you feel all Christmassy, and also, you know, Muppet humor. You can't beat it. It is truly heartwarming. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched it all the way through, I really do appreciate it. Please, in the comments, leave me your favorite moments from the Muppet Christmas Carol. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss when I post a cover song or a guitar short or a vlog, or when I go live every week. Make sure you hit the bell so that you don't miss out. Also, there are some links in the description if you would like to support me further, I would very much appreciate it. I have a Patreon and I have a YouTube membership community as well. And I also have a merch store with lots of Irish and music-y inspired designs, so check those out if you would like to. Anyone who does decide to become a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member, you will get your name in the credits to all of my videos, and you will get access to a monthly private live stream that we do, which is just a nice little behind the scenes chat. And you also get access to bonus behind the scenes content as well. So if you would like to join or buy merch, all linked in the description below. I really do appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate Christmas. Happy holidays, and I will see you very soon in another video.